I should probably start when I get up to the microphone. So we have a friend of mine, Stacie, which I think it's been, is it almost 2 years?
Almost 2 years, yep.
Yeah. So I feel like I know you, you know me after 2 years communicating with you. A lot of things from this have you've kind of sparked some interest of your own. We've chatted a bunch, but we've never met in person. So it's cool to finally meet you in person. It's one of those things where you feel like, again, you know the person.
Know somebody, yeah.
And then when you see them face to face for the first time, it's just neat. So Stacie is here with us, mom of 2 kids, 44 years old. She started with us, again, almost 2 years ago, kind of one of our OGs as well, and has been implementing this, for about 2 years now. So wanted to get her on here, ask her some questions, and go from there. So before starting this, what was the hardest part? And we have some context behind how you heard about this. I'll let you bring that out. But what was the hardest part about trying to stay consistent or just feel in control about your health, whether it be body composition, everything?
Yeah. So I would honestly say that I feel like my health or weight loss journey has been my entire life. Starting after high school. And I think part of it was not knowing what to do. I wasn't really raised in a family where my parents didn't work out. They didn't, I wouldn't say that they didn't eat healthy, but those, we ate the food that was put on the plate and given to us, and so over the course of my life, as you look to maybe lose weight or improve your health, it was just a journey of sort of self-study, I think. And so my challenges with weight loss was always, my go-to was, if I wanted to lose weight, it was workout. So I used working out as that the path, right?
The driver, yeah.
To get to the weight loss. And yeah, the working out would help, and I would get to an okay place, but it's really been interesting to me because after going through the Recalibr8te program, I'm probably like every typical female. Oh, I needed to lose 10 pounds, right?
Yeah.
The funny thing is I've lost 17. I had no idea that I even had that much that I needed to lose. And I would say that it really kind of came off almost effortlessly for me, just by, implementing the 2 key concepts that you talk about with the intermittent fasting and the 10 lean habits. But I think nowadays, especially, there's so much information out there. There is, we're an information overload. And so it's if you decide, I'm ready to get my health or my fitness under grasp, it's where do you begin? And I think we just have an overabundance of information available to us out there.
Yeah.
I think my other struggle is, which also makes me a perfect candidate for your program, but my challenge was always, we're just people that we want to have fun, we want to enjoy life, and over the years as I tried different diets or, macro counting, whatever, I think they all work if you can stick with them 100%.
Yeah.
And I was not going to be that person. I love my wine. I like, to have some cheesecake, and having those things would just derail me. So I found, I think through this program, a perfect balance where I really can be that 80-20 girl, and still enjoy my life. And the weight came off. So,
a couple different points there. One of them, with too many choices, too many things out there, it's overwhelming. That's, paralysis by analysis. There's too much out there, so I'm not going to make a decision. And then another thing, it's you mentioned, they all work. Truly, you can make anything work.
Yep.
There's some silly diets out there that I've heard, the potato diet, which is ridiculous, but the whole concept is if you're just eat potatoes. It's well, that's carbs and starches, which many people will be you can't lose weight doing that. it's a dumb concept, but it's like, if I only eat potatoes, that doesn't sound very good. So like, I'm only going to choose that if I truly am hungry. Again, a dumb way to approach weight loss. But the point is there's infinite things out there, and it makes it challenging to select anything.
Yep.
So we just let years go by.
Yep.
5 years go by, 10 years go by. We yo-yo back and forth. We try the workouts and kill ourselves in that manner where it's just not sustainable.
Yep.
It's not sustainable. So one other point you made that you thought like, oh, just 10 pounds, which is cool, but you don't I guess realize until you we put a number on ourselves, like, if I achieve this, and a lot of times it's, if I see this number on the scale, I'm going to feel this other certain way. It's
Right.
going to be a reward.
Right.
Well, when you get there, like, there's a finish line with this, and we've said that, but you realize you're like, why do I need to put a number on myself when I'm just going to gauge it better on like how I feel, how clothes are fitting, what I'm seeing in the mirror, and whatever that number is, that's that number.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So this brings the origin story. How did you feel when you saw someone, a friend of mine, she'll probably see this later on, eating a pretzel with cheese and having a beer, which at a rodeo, and they were still getting results, which pretzel with cheese, beer, like, people would be like, big no-nos. Like, you can't have that. That's one of the things that made you like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah. So I don't think Cody would mind if we say
No,
her name.
no.
So yeah, Cody, I saw her post, and I've never actually even met Cody before, but we're connected on social media because of rodeos. And so I saw her post. I ate a pretzel with cheese and drank 2 beers, and I'm still meeting my weight loss goals. And my literal response was, "Sister, you are speaking to my soul," because like that just describes, I think, me to a T of what I want in my life. Like, I want to be able to have some beers and have no guilt about it, or not feel like I've just derailed all of my progress. So I messaged her immediately and said, tell me, about this program. She connected me with you.
Yeah.
I messaged you immediately. You gave me the information. I looked it over. I glanced at it. I did see that it involved intermittent fasting, so I want to kind of address that. But I signed up, like no thoughts about it. Like, I am done. Like, I don't know what else to do, I would always default to, I'm going to work out 4 days a week and count my macros, and that never worked.
Yeah.
It didn't work for me. And so signed up for your program, and without any hesitation. And even though I saw that intermittent fasting was involved, and I always said I will never intermittent fast. But it was I still can't wait to meet Cody one day, because that post changed my life, literally.
That's awesome. I remember it happening rather quickly, from communicating with you like first time, and then like pulling the lever to start. It was kind of quick.
Yeah.
It was quick.
Yep.
You just mentioned it's like involves, and this happens all the time when I communicate with people, either on the fence about this, or they're just inquiring, they want to know, they're curious. That word, fasting or intermittent fasting, it could be called several different things, time-restricted eating, whatever. People get scared, you buy it. They're like, they've built up this barrier of what that actually truly means, versus like what it is.
Yeah.
And it can be as little as someone, and I bring this realization to people, I'm like, man, if you could go, do you think you could like maybe cut yourself off from the kitchen at 7 p.m.? And they'll be like, yeah, I can do that. I'm like, well, good. Here's some cool things that are going to happen from that. Number one, like, you kind of cut yourself off from the late night snacking that usually gets a lot of people in trouble. Okay. Which that's when you're packing on unwanted and unneeded calories. You probably already had dinner then, maybe. And I just give them that example, and they're like, yeah, I could probably do that. And they'll agree with me that eliminates that habit. And then I said, well, and if you really want to, you can have breakfast at 8 a.m., if you wanted to. After you got ready for work, or maybe on the way to work, you're having something. Can you do that? Yeah, I could do that. And that's 13 hours right there. It's one form of fasting. It's circadian rhythm fasting. You know this, of course. But what you just did there, two different things. One, the elimination of the behavioral habits of continuing to snack late into the evening when you get in trouble. Boom, that's gone. Number two, you actually allowed your body to kind of digest what you ate, which aids in several different things. Recovery, can help with sleep. And if your digestive system is working properly, well, weight loss is easier. It fixed that. So for you, fasting, it may just mean that. And one of our lean habits, it's the first one. I'll just give it away. Is if you're not hungry, like why do you? If you truly are not hungry, why consume something just for the sake of the health and fitness industry telling you to do so? So then if they wake up and it's 8 a.m., you're like, you know what, I'm good to go. Okay, can I push it to 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.? It's always, I haven't met one person that hasn't been able to do that.
Yep.
And it's a very gradual thing.
Yep.
So.
And I think what I saw when I thought of fasting, it was another one of those things that put me in a box. What I knew of fasting was I only eat between the hours of 11 a.m. and 7 p.m. And I was like, don't tell me I can't have my morning coffee. Don't tell me that, we have a busy life with kids, and sometimes we may not have dinner until 8 o'clock at night, So I didn't want to be put in a box. And now I realize, through this fasting and the way that you teach it, there is no box. And people say to me all the time, what are your eating windows? And I'm like, there's no window.
I don't have one.
There's no window.
It may be 9 p.m. one day after pretzels and cheese and beer, or it may not. It may be 4 p.m. because I had an early dinner on a Sunday, and I was good. You're exactly right there. The duration can be different. The frequency can be different, and that brings me to the last point, at least about this, is we're not talking every day.
Yep.
I would tell people, can you do this 2 to 4 days a week? Yeah, I can do that. So it's definitely, there's so many ways to do it, and a lot of people that have a negative attitude about it can just be, they're uninformed of how the variety that it presents and the flexibility that it presents.
Right.
So again, this is kind of before and after. I know it's tough to see on the live, but when you look at it from our point of view, it's definitely evident here for sure. So you're a mom, you work at the hospital, and a lot of these things are going to be overlapping. We're talking a lot. You work at the hospital, you're constantly bouncing around with your daughter's rodeo schedule. What do you think has helped you stay consistent with everything you have going on?
So honestly, I speak to this a lot, but the going through this program, people say, are you still doing Josh's program? And I'm like, well, I'm not doing it. It's just who I am now. This is just my life. There was no the day that I signed up, that I started, and that there was going to be an end. It just has become my life. But the biggest blessing is that it has made my life so much easier. I am not kidding. Everybody's worried about, the cost of eggs and, I'm like, I have saved a ton of money, on my grocery bills. And for me, it was a time, before, with working and, kids and running, I was always thinking, how am I gonna get a healthy breakfast made and in me? Yeah. How am I gonna pack a healthy lunch? What is it gonna be? How am I gonna hit my protein? How am I gonna, I go straight from work to baseball. How am I gonna eat a healthy meal tonight? And this program has just eliminated all of that. Right. I fast on my busiest days. My mornings when I go to the hospital are just easy and calming, relaxing. I enjoy my coffee, and I don't have to pack a lunch, and I'm not worried about how I'm going to eat a healthy meal at a baseball game, because I realize A, maybe I choose not to eat, or B, I'll eat something when I get home,
A big misunderstanding too is that, and this goes, take fasting away out of our mouths right now. anybody that's trying to change your body composition and lose body fat or lose weight, you have to be in some sort of calorie deficit. So you're going to be in some way consuming less than what your body can handle. So it doesn't, like, we get into this box where it's like, if I'm trying to eat a 1,500 calorie diet to lose, depending on the person's starting point, how much they're trying to lose per week. Let's say 1,500 calories for someone allows them to lose 1 pound per week. Not aggressive. That's not a big deal, but you can stretch, like, so people know, you can stretch that 1,500 calories out over the course of 12 hours if you wanted to. And if you're doing really good at tracking and counting all that stuff, you'll lose weight. You'll lose, in this example, a pound a week. But you can also, the body's, what we now know about how we process energy, it's not that big of a deal to, instead of stretching out 1,500 calories over the course of 12 hours, could you stretch it out over 8? Could you stretch it out over 6? The nutrients are there. Protein is still there. You're still giving your body nutrition that it needs to thrive on optimally. One of the last questions, how do you feel, like, if it is just a day where you're like, nope, I'm too busy, it is a fasting day where they're happening on accident. Most people say that they feel great. They feel energized during that process.
Yes. I fast when I work at the hospitals, and we're going to work at the hospital, which is typically middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I fast on those days, and I feel the best on my fasting days. I just came off of a rodeo weekend, so there was a lot more consumption and I don't feel as great today, you know. So I absolutely feel better, like, not even just from like a lighter weight or bloating perspective, but like mental clarity and sharpness and focus is right on the money.
That is those, when someone's kind of adapted, whether in your body doesn't constantly rely on glucose, carbohydrates, like, and you get to where your body is preferring to burn body fat as a fuel source, it's a clean, good, stable form of energy that feels good, offers that mental clarity, that there's not the blood sugar spikes where you had your lunch and you're ready to take a nap at 1 o'clock.
Right.
That's gone.
Yep.
You've been living this lifestyle and using, we mentioned not a program, it's a lifestyle, and using these strategies for almost 2 years now. What's changed for you, not just physically, but in your energy, mindset? I guess we answered some of this, or how you just approach everyday life.
I think one of the biggest takeaways from me is two things. One is the self-mastery that came from this program, like being able to look at all of the things, all the ways. I think of your program as this deconditioning program, like decondition us from everything that we were taught, like you have to eat 3 meals a day and 2 snacks in between, and you realize, wow, my body does not need that, and you can actually adapt to that pretty quickly. But I think the self-mastery that came from, it's sometimes odd to not eat dinner, right? Like, so if say I'm going to make a choice, and because I'm going to baseball tonight, there's nothing there that I would want to eat anyway, so I'm going to fast and not have dinner. Well, there's some mental thoughts that pop up in your head, and some of that you have to get through. But you realize when you get through it, you're like, well, that wasn't so hard. And that strategy of how you kind of got through that uncomfortable thing of not eating dinner just because it feels weird to not eat dinner, you can apply it to so many other areas of your life. And so I'll be very candid and say that I've had success on this program, and I'm still sucking at the working out part. I love to walk. I walk all the time for my mental health. I love to walk.
Yeah, you're crushing on the walks.
Love the walks. But the weightlifting, I'm like,
inconsistent.
I'm
get there when you get there.
And it's, and it's fine. And I still had success with the program, but now I'm realizing, okay, I can apply the same strategies, the same mental strategies that got me through like learning how to fast or with the lean habits and applying that, and I can apply those same strategies to the working out now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's so many layers to the program. Even if you just do the 8-week program, you could go back and watch that over and over and over and take one little piece and work on implementing that in your life.
It's applicable.
So yeah, I still have a ton of work to do. But I think that doing that the first two things with implementing the core of what your program is kind of helped me with a lot of self-mastery that it applies to so many other things too, but business and not just eating and working out.
Right. So. It's so much more, because it's like health and fitness should fall in the background of your life to enhance your life, not run it. And like when you start pulling some of these levers and doing some of these things, it's working for you to change your physical condition, hopefully your mental condition, but like a lot of it's reflective. It's reflective, and you learn more about yourself. You learn how to apply like those experiences like in other avenues of your life, and you can't articulate it because it's different for everybody, and that means something different to everybody. But there's something there. For sure.
And I'd say the other component that I truly am loving so much is having some like some real structure and like life skills to teach my own kids. I've always enjoyed eating healthy. Like my favorite thing to do is, I always say, hack foods. I love I love cheesecake. Well, I'm gonna find a good, healthy, high protein cheesecake recipe, and I'm gonna hack that. But like teaching some of these other strategies like down to my kids, and I'm seeing like behavioral changes in them now, which for me, I hope will set them up, in life to not have to have weight loss, struggles or issues.
You mentioned this was a conversation not during the live, but with your son with chips. Something as simple as like, man, if you're constantly finding yourself overeating chips and things of that nature, ask yourself this: are you holding the entire bag? Are you holding the entire package? A lot of times we are. You don't have to tell a kid to not eat chips. If you want to eat chips, but can we do something as simple as this? Instead, portion out like you're serving, put it on a small plate, bowl, napkin, whatever you want, baggie, and like boom, that's your portion that you get, and we're not going to continuously hold and put ourselves in that environment. So just simple shifts like that. It's not being a psychopath and telling your kid that you can't have Capri Suns or a fruit by the foot or something that we want to consume that makes childhood fun. It's just working some of those other strategies into place. Last question. So if someone's watching this right now and they feel stuck, burnt out, kind of how you felt at that point, or like nothing ever works for them, what would you say to them?
Well, what I would say is, first of all, I think that, again, you can get online and you can look at any kind of a program out there that is like, drink this juice and you'll lose 10 pounds, or take this shot. And my thing is, as long as you have to consume those things to get the results, like the weight loss results, like you're going to always have to have that. Like this program is really about to me, it's like a unlearning or a deconditioning or a complete reset on the way that we've lived our lives. So if you felt stuck and like that nothing works, like I think this is the thing for you, because it's going to like completely erase a lot of the, conditioning. I was one of those kids who was raised like finish your plate, and that it took some time for me to really.
You're not leaving this table till that's gone.
And we shared this earlier that I realized I did it to my own son, when he didn't finish his plate, and it came out of my mouth, and I said, "Why didn't you finish your plate?" And I was like, "Whoa, like what?" Like here is still my conditioning, there that we're taught you have to finish your plate. Well, how about you eat until you're full, you
feel satiated, you're fine. A lot of, we'll close out this, it seems like the common theme for people that are successful with this, with not having to rely on, XYZ in the form of products, and like that's what gets you to your results. No, it's strategies, and it's just being consistent with it. and applying that on a day-to-day basis. So thank you so much for getting on. I left her discount code here too. Stacie L10 will take off 10%. I'm going to leave everything that you guys need in the comments. Everyone up here, you guys can take a look around on our website. You can creep on our page, Instagram page. You're going to see thousands of results there. One other thing that I do want to mention is that right now we're doing a competition bolted alongside, like, so if someone signs up for Recalibrate and they're like, hey, I just want to kind of like follow this like myself, like worry about me, like it's my journey. Don't have to, but like right now, we're taking signups for the start of our competition, which starts April 21st and it runs through June 16th. So basically, you follow this, and then there's a competition component to make it more fun and engaging with people, and anybody can win. Last year, like our top 3 people were from all walks of life, all different starting points, body composition, starting points, ages. You're 25, 65. So it's a fun way to make this journey cool. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Josh.
Yep.